Welcome to GouldFish on Games and Budget Game Reviews. Today's subject of a cheap review is Only Fools and Horses, the CD-ROM. It contains cushy customizers, lovely jubbly games, top-notch screensavers, and kosher video. If we look at the back, we get an idea of what it actually contains. And yeah, you're not going to be surprised. So let's take a look inside the box, and yep, we can tell this is still a genuine BBC product. And inside there we get, well, it's just a single dual case CD, which has a single CD-ROM inside of it. Not much special there. We get a little leaflet that tells us how to install, and a bigger leaflet that goes into each of the sections of this software. So, without further ado, I guess we have to get going, which means there's no income tax, no VAT, no money. Yeah, let's give that a miss, shall we? Because we will hear it a few times. And when we actually start it up, we get this menu. And let's just start the game off and we'll look at the other bits in a second. But first off, it's got to remind us that yes, this is an official BBC Multimedia project. And I have to stress this because what you're going to see may surprise you. And surprise, surprise, it starts off with the classic intro. Though, well, to be honest, you've probably seen it in slightly better quality in the past, because this encoding isn't great. So let's just skip it and go straight to the main menu. And it drops us straight into Dell's Bargains, which, as you can hear, has a load of audio samples for when you roll over his items. So we start off with Cushy Calcs. And you're going to wish that you didn't. Yes, we have a leopard print calculator that starts off with, I do like to be beside the seaside. What any of that has got to do with each other, I have no idea. Absolutely none. As a calculator, it works, I guess. It's not fancy, it's not special in any way, and having to start up this program to get access to it seems incredibly stupid. So let's go on to the next program and see if it's any better. Which means the next thing has to be calendars, 1997 model, now going cheap. And yeah, it is a basic desk organizer calendar. That is, well, it's incredibly slow to make it change dates or do anything. There is so little here, it is so basic. And yet, it is so slow in everything it does. Though you can change the picture in the snow globe, or at least you can change the season, which is probably the most fun you can actually have in this calendar. You can actually set your reminders, but, yeah, I don't know why you'd use this other than any other program. Though if I'm being honest, it probably is far more useful than the next toy that this comes with, which is a clock. That is it. That is all the enjoyment you're gonna get out of this thing. It is a clock that has two flamingo dancers that comes out. We're done, and that is it. So let's move on to one of the other sections. And, no, we'll do the Nag's Head at last. Let's have a look at Rodney's diploma in computing. This section actually allows us to change parts of our computer. So we have cursors, icons, wallpapers, and screensavers, as well as some sounds. So let's take a look at the cursors first. And yes, this allows us to set the cursor to be something from the BBC. Or in theory, it should be from Only Fools and Horses. And yeah, there's the famous Only Fools and Horses ashtray. I think that's meant to be Peckham Towers. We have the classic Robin Reliant. And yeah, so this just has a bunch of cursors that we can use to replace what we already have. And to be honest, none of them look all that great. They really don't. We can jump between the different customization options from that little monitor on the left. So let's take a look at sounds. So again, we can see what we've already got set, and then we can take a look at the BBC sounds.
Breakfast is for wimps. Oh, hello, Bruce, shit. I'm a strictly Reddy's man myself, you know, cash in. What do you think I am, a cowboy or something? Don't be a plonker.
So yeah, all those famous quotes from the show you can have playing on your computer.
It's just, you know, it's just when it comes to technological things, normally I'm a natural. I just got to get used to all its, you know, its functions and its modes.
Well, let's check out the next mode in this software and take a look at the wallpapers, which are some of the most depressing wallpapers you'll ever find. It's either tiny pictures, centered, or tiled. They are not very good. There's nothing really redeemable in this set. So let's just take a look at the screensavers and hopefully they've got something better there. And so we have falling pictures, which are just falling pictures. Though, in all the previews that I ran, it never seemed to completely fill the screen, so it doesn't seem to be really trying to save the screen all that well. Maybe the other ones are better. And so we have Message Saver, which just has a static picture with some text you can barely read going across it. Yes, this is an official BBC product, everyone.
Oh, shut up, you tart.
Oi, who are you calling a tart? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on to the next screensaver, which will play one of several clips in a small window with a big bit around it that is static. This isn't a very good set of screensavers, that is for sure. And finally, there are icons. You can update the various icons on your desktop to be pictures from Only Fools and Horses, including Uncle Albert and the pint glass again, and yeah, they're not all that great, to be honest. Amazingly, there's no theme support or anything. You can't just set all your pictures at once. You have to go through every single one in turn. So you know what, let's get on to the namesake of this channel and take a look at the games, which are all at the Nag's Head. And we've got a small selection here. We've got a pub quiz, we've got a fruit machine, and we've also got Around the Houses, which is easily the best thing on this disc, and at the same time, pretty much what you might expect. You have to drive around the Robin Reliant, picking up objects and dropping them off. But its viewpoint is quite surprising.
Let's go!
That's right, it is a GTA 1 clone. Not the 3D ones that you all remember, the very first GTA. And, well, the van controls like crap. Which you probably could say that's how it actually handles, since it's only got 3 wheels. But the map itself is just this weird sprawling mess. And it's way too easy to damage the van, and the first level, yeah, pretty straightforward. But it does get a bit harder as you go along, as the second level introduces the pink car, which will pretty much target you and try and take you out, and can be surprisingly difficult to avoid. Any barriers that you go through is kept from one level to the next, which is a nice touch, even though the actual level itself will change as they'll add new blockages as it goes along. But this is pretty much it. You just have to drive around going from one place to the next. Sometimes you have to drop off in multiple places, other times it's just one, but that's it, all to that ticking sound. Because there's no other in-game audio. You'd expect engine sounds or something like that, but nope. Just the ticking and the crash sound. That's all you really get. And seeing that we've now hit the peak of this CD, let's start going down that curve and check out the next game, which is the pub quiz. Which turns out to be a trivia quiz about Only Fools and Horses itself. And yeah, I have to say I didn't get a particularly great score. For every question you get right, you gain some points. For every question you get wrong, you lose points. So it is possible to get negative scores, and I did get at least one negative score for the filming of this. Now you might have noticed the 3 portraits at the bottom: Dell's Gamble, Rodney's GCE, and Uncle Albert's depth charge. Now these are what the game calls cheats, and you can activate each of them once per game. If you do Dell's Gamble, it will double your score if you get the question right, or double loss if you get it wrong. Rodney's GCE will eliminate 2 options, so he give you a better chance of answering it. And Uncle Albert's depth charge will actually remove the question completely, so you don't gain any points, but you also won't lose any points. But they do at least have the most glamorous person in the entirety of Only Fools and Horses to give you your final score.
I've been eating British beef all my
And that's
life.
right, the inflatable doll is our lovely assistant here. And the game grades you as well, and I gained the grade of Trigger because I got -11. Obviously, my Only Fools and Horses trivia skills were not up to the task.
You dozy little...
So let's go on to the final game, shall we, which is the Fruit Machine, aka the Slot Machine, and also known as the One-Armed Bandit. Which, unsurprisingly, like the rest of the game, is quite basic. You drag the coins into the slot, you hit the go button. If you get 2 of the same picture, you gain a credit. If you get more, you gain more credits. On a very rare occasion, you might be able to hold items, but that doesn't come up all that often. And on those rare instances where you get 3, you get another chance to gamble even more, which is done via a higher or lower system. The lights on the tower go up and down, and you got to decide, is it going to go higher or lower? I went higher, it went lower. Loser. There really isn't much to this one, but there is a slight trick that can get you a lot of money. Just knock over one of Dell's fancy drinks and... Bar! Jackpot, baby! Look at all this fake money that I've just won. And because we've got 3 in a row, we get a chance to gamble it even higher. So let's try gambling. Ooh. Let's go higher this time. Higher! Oh yes, we won £20. Now where do I go to redeem that? Is it like bitcoins? And that's pretty much the entire disc. There is one other thing, which is a video player, which allows you to play some of those video clips that we saw from the screensavers. But that's it.
What's these initials after my name then? D-I-C? No, that is Diploma in Computerisation, Rodney.
Amazingly, this was one of a number of multimedia titles that the BBC released, and we can actually check out some of the other ones through the launcher menu, as it brings up a small catalogue.
Pingu and Friends.
And noot noot to you, little dude. And I think that might be where we're going to leave this one. So until next time, I was the GouldFish, and that was an officially licensed bit of BBC merchandising, and this was GouldFish on Games. Thank you for watching this budget game review. I do hope you enjoyed it. And if you've got memories of this game, good or bad, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. And if you really enjoyed the video, then there's buttons below that you know what to do with. Or if you're not sure yet, then there's 2 other videos on screen that you can check out right now.